exporting to the cloud. Good morning, and thanks for joining us, Rebecca, for the ACI application walkthrough. We're spending this time this morning going through the fiscal year 22 Arts Challenge Initiative Programs grant application. And if you have any questions about the guidelines, which are pretty straightforward, please do speak up and ask any questions about those that you have. Meantime, I think we'll just jump right to it. I am Karen Geschko. I'm the Assistant Director at the Wisconsin Arts Board, and with me from the Arts Board is
Dale Johnson, Grants and Information Specialist at the Arts Board.
Yes, and the face behind that really calm voice that applicants get when they are really stressed out about some technical issue. Dale's the guy, so thank you, Dale, for joining and walking us through this application form. Just a quick note, the Arts Challenge Initiative program is one that is focused on supporting and nurturing and helping move forward organizations that are based in communities of color, run by people of color, and when I say run by, I mean board and staff, majority of. And so it's a program that has been around for many years, and we are really glad to have a handful of staunch continuing applicants in this program. All righty, having said that, Dale, if you wouldn't mind, let's take people right into the how to access the application form and maybe the guidelines. I'm not going to share my screen, but once you get in here, you can access the guidelines from the Smart Simple application portal. So hopefully you saw what Dale just did. He just went into the Smart Simple, the page and logged on, and then this is the dashboard that welcomes him. It's a little different than yours because you're not coming in as a cat farm applicant.
Actually, this is my my account for that. So this is exactly what an applicant should see.
Okay.
Not
you
the
have
numbers
13
necessarily.
approved and declined. All righty, awesome.
If they haven't created the application yet, then this is the area they need to go to first. But if they have created that, then it will be one of the in-progress items here, likely the only one. I'm testing a couple right now, so I have two, but the Arts Challenge is one. And you just open it.
All righty.
And you wanted to look at the guidelines? Was that what I heard?
No, actually, let's just look at this for a moment. We can show people how to access the guidelines in a sec. But this first tab, the Applicant Information tab, will be pre-populated with the information that you have already given in your registration process. So that's where you will have put in your mission statement and your organization history and the contact information, basically the boilerplate stuff. But then there is a space as you scroll down that page to update information. So you'll put in your director's name and title and phone number and all that good stuff. Next, the budget. And so this is where you kind of let us know when your fiscal year begins and ends. Some people have calendar fiscal years, and some people have fiscal years that begin, like ours does, on July 1st and ends on June 30th of the following year. So this is a place for you to kind of ground us in what your fiscal year reality is. And then we ask you to give us your last year's budget amount, the amount of organizational, budget expense income that you received. So that's what, or earned. So that's what we're looking for there. If you're on a calendar year, it would have been your FY21 organizational budget. If you are on a calendar year, the current year, ignore these numbers that Dale has put in here. There, he was on a creation communities kick. But your current fiscal year will actually be 2022, and your next fiscal year will be 2023. it's very probable, oh, thanks, Dale. It's very probable that you will not have set your fiscal year 2023 budget yet. And that's fine. What we recommend in that case is that you simply put in the same numbers. If you believe your organizational budget will remain pretty much the same from next year as from this year, just put in those same numbers. If you foresee, if you are planning on a great jump in your organizational budget, then put that guesstimate in here. If you are sort of foreseeing a smaller, slimmer budget for next year, then indicate that here too. We totally get that these are guesstimates at this point, but it gives you a chance to let us know what your kind of fiscal prognosis is, what you're looking and expecting in this time of, it's hard to expect anything for sure. And so once you've filled that out, we've got the revenue piece. I'm sorry, Dale. And then, so all of those income sources will go under revenue, whether it's contributed, earned, grants, whatever. And then on the expenses, can you open that up again, Dale? Sorry. Oh, wait, no, it's here. It's fine. And then on the expenses column, again, the expenses from last year, your projected expenses for this year and for next. And then the in-kind, which is really an important column. And many groups don't feel as comfortable, I think, filling that out. But it's a really great way for you to communicate the many ways that your community supports you beyond the dollars. So if you have volunteers putting in time, that time is worth money. And I can certainly share a volunteer time calculator with you guys if that would be helpful. Just let me know.
Yeah, so I don't forget. That would be great to see.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I will put that in the chat because I think the chat is recorded as well. So I'll do that. And then, if there are organizations that provide printing or, space, donate space for events or whatever, those are in-kind contributions and they are of great value. So please include those. And then that will of course increase your overall budget, which is fine. And it will reflect to the reality of your work maybe a little bit more clearly. And then the application form just does a quick auto calculation on whether you've had a surplus or a deficit in that year. And then it also averages your income for those 3 fiscal years. And we don't need for that to happen here in ACI, Dale. Just help me remember that piece. That's a creation and presentation piece. Address accumulated debts or assets. This is the box where you kind of explain if you had a huge increase in your budget, like more than 20%, what was that? Were you like raising for a specific project or a capital campaign or an endowment? Or if you have a specific a big drop, what happened there? Did you lose a major donor or did you really shrink your programs, or was there a pandemic? That's the kind of information you can put in that box. And when you are done with that, and please do, if there is more than a 20% shift in your budget from year to year, please do put that information in that box. If there isn't up to 20%, then or more than 20%, then don't worry about it. All
Karen,
right.
I
Yeah.
have a quick question.
Yeah.
We go through the calendar year and we're still doing, we're in the final process of auditing. So our numbers, they might change a little bit from what I put on here. Should I make a notation even in that other section? I just wanted to bring that up because, with the audit, that's where things pop up and we're not complete yet. So I have numbers as of December 31st. And quite honestly, from my understanding, our numbers are going in the right direction or they're all good, but do you want me to make a notation anywhere?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that will be fine to put
I will
that
do
in.
that in that section where the 20% is, if that's okay.
That would be the perfect place to put it. And know that, it may be by the time this is due, which is what, April 22nd, 21st.
Yeah, it might be. We might have it done, which
Yeah.
would be really nice.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it will, but I thought, just ask since we're going through it.
Great, thank you. Appreciate that. All righty. I think we're ready for the next tab then. This is where the board and staff tab is where you open up that purple button there and you give the names, the occupations, what they do for work, the city, and then their arts interest affiliation. So many board members are interested in like multidisciplinary or many disciplines, and you can certainly put that in there. If you have a board member that is very specifically focused on visual art or dance or whatever, that's what you put in there too. And then the years on the board will be helpful. It's important to note that we are asking you to put an asterisk on right after the name. So like Peter Piper, you would put an asterisk right next to that, the R, just to make sure that we know which of your, this says staff members, which is interesting. So we need to fix that, Dale. The names of the board members who are of the community of color on which your organization focuses its primary mission and service. And so I think we also are asking for which of your board members are on your executive committee with a plus sign. So I may be thinking of creative communities, but this might shift just a little bit between now and when you see it a little bit later. But essentially what we're looking for is that kind of insight into your board. All righty. Thank you for that. And make sure you click save before you click close when you're making changes. And perfect, already. And then, and if your organization has paid or volunteer staff, you click yes. I mean, some organizations are run by the board, and that's just simply how they work. This is an indication to us that you do have paid or volunteer staff, which is an important part of this particular grant program. You do need to have that. And if you click yes, then you have the box to fill out. And if you click no, then we will probably be calling and saying, what's going on? Right. Yep. So again, with the asterisks. And yeah, should be pretty self-explanatory on that one. All righty. Next, I'm saving it and going to the next page. We have accessibility. And this is a page that we wanted to spend a little bit of time on because while the first question really is about how are you getting the word out to your whole community, so everyone has access to your programs and knows about them. So that's like the first and second questions. The rest of them are focused on accessibility in terms of people with disability. So making sure that your programs, your facility, whatever the work is that you do, people with disabilities have access to that work. So this is where you describe how that happens. And so obviously, are the facilities accessible in these areas? And my guess is you will be checking all of those. Parking will definitely be accessible as well. And then this next box is where you can really go deep into, we have performances where we always have sign interpreters, or we have performances where we have a kind of a sensory performance where the audience is invited, and if there are bright lights normally in the show, we don't include that in that particular performance, or whatever. We have audio description for people who have visual impairments. If you have any of those things going on, this is the box where you put that information. Alrighty. And capacity building activities. This is where you get into the meat of this is what we propose using the funding for. And so you can click any and all of these. My guess is you probably won't click all of them. That's spreading the money pretty broadly. But wherever you most need those funds for this year, these are the areas that you click here. And then in the next tab, which is the narrative tab, you this is where you talk more about that. So first of all, you keep us up to date on any major changes that you have had since the last time we connected. And again, we give you the opportunity, if you just want to do this verbally in the meeting that we have scheduled for April 19th at noon, from noon to 2, then what you can just put in here is, I'm completely blanking on what I said you guys should say in that. Something like, you know, huh?
Not available.
Is it NA?
I
Okay.
think so. I thought I remember reading that.
It could be NA, it can be, you know, we'll be sharing this in the interview. It's, you know, whatever, just because you can't submit this without having something in these boxes. And of course, the meeting happens on the 19th. This isn't due until the 22nd. So we'll know that you've already provided your narrative. Yeah, and then summarize your organization's work to date in the current year. And your planned activities through this June. So given that this is happening much later in the fiscal year than is usual, you won't have a whole lot to share about, you know, what's coming on between now and June. But again, this kind of gives us a sense of where you've been since last time we connected and where you're projecting to go, especially with these ACI dollars. If you need to have an extension on this grant so you can spend it forward beyond June 30th, that's perfectly fine. Just let us know and you'll request an extension for those funds. And then you can let us know by when you anticipate having those funds spent, and we'll go from there. But for the purposes of this application, this is, what are you doing from now until the end of June? And then again, how that third question, providing details on how you'll apply this grant to those activities that you checked off in the previous tab. That's what that is all about.
I'm excited to share with you guys what we're doing through June.
Yeah, and what you've been up to. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
It's going to
there's
be
some exciting stuff.
Yeah. And then the last tab is the certification tab. And that is where you, if you are new, you upload your nonprofit status. You are not new, Rebecca, so you will not be doing that, but new applicants put that there. And then, you know, you make sure that you click on that box that says, I promise I'm telling the truth. And then you put your name and your position. And it's important that the person who signs this is someone who can legally obligate the organization. So a volunteer is not going to be signing this application, but someone, an executive director or a director of operations, or someone that the board has, or a board member who on the executive committee who has the capacity to legally obligate the organization is the person to sign this here. And then you save it, and you don't expect that the signature is going to be pretty. You just expect that it's going to work. And then you click submit when you have gone through it all and you're happy. That's what it looks like. And there you go. All righty.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Any questions that I did not cover?
Not that I can think of. My only question would be, because I've not having been through this last year, say I choose the option of doing the verbal answering.
Yeah.
Is there anything we need to prep and send, even, is it just even bullet points to send to you, or do you need a formal type presentation that we do at that meeting? I just want to make sure I know what the expectations for that, if you choose to do the verbal option.
Yeah, you're going to have, so I sent out the agenda yesterday. You will have about 10 minutes and maybe a little bit longer. We'll see how many people are able to make that 10-minute limit, but plan on 10 minutes of sharing all of those narrative responses. So you've got those three: what you've been up to, what is coming up, how you're going to use the money, all of that good stuff. So basically you are verbalizing what you'd be writing in that section.
Okay.
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure there wasn't like a formal presentation you expected or something like that to,
Well, it's as formal as you want it to be, right?
Right.
So we've had certainly some applicants come in and they have some visuals that they want to share, which is great, or a PowerPoint or something, and so we can share screens and look at what they are sharing with us, or they will submit those visuals in advance if they're not sure that they can, make the tech work during the 10 minutes. So it doesn't have to be intense. It really is just, you're doing great work. We want to know what you've been up to and what's coming up. And we will also be talking, not during that 10-minute presentation, but at that meeting, about how things are going, within these groups in general, and how the Arts Board might be able to help. So there will be more discussion beyond that 10 minutes. You'll be able to talk more than the 10-minute section.
Nope, just wanted to make sure, because like I said, not experiencing it myself before, just thought since I have this wonderful opportunity to ask the questions.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, did that answer your question?
It did. It you answered about like, okay, great. I could put some slides together to show Black nativity, things like that and stuff like that. So great.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Nowhere in here do we ask you to upload your budgets at this point. And Dale, we may add that piece in. So let's talk about that after this is over. But if there are no other questions, Rebecca, I think we're good.
No, I mean, and I know where to find both of you. So
fair enough.
And I have to give a special kudos to Dale. You have helped out, and your calming voice, as Karen said, it has, because I had a panic where, when it came to the signing the signature, the board member kept telling me they did it, and then Dale, and I get an email, and I look, and I'm like, I don't see anything, and they're like, I did it, and then they hit submit, and Dale was lovely and helped, because it was a dot. Their name was a dot, and we're like, I don't think that's gonna fly, just a dot on the signature. This was a couple of years ago with the crease, but I was just like, oh my God, now we missed the deadline. And Dale was wonderful. He's like, no, there's stamps, and obviously there's a dot and things. And he goes,
we're good. Yes, good. I'm glad to hear that. Awesome. Okay, well, I did not put the, I was too busy talking, so I didn't put that volunteer calculator in the chat. I will send that out to everyone via email. So
I'm curious to see if it's different from what what I've used in the past.
It's the independent sector one.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, and they have the breakdown, of course, by state, as well as the national figure. So it wouldn't hurt to just get that out to everybody.
No, I'd appreciate it, because I agree. I think in kind is very important to be represented. So I love that you guys actually do break that out.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Well,
all right then.
I feel very special today.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Dale. I appreciate it.
Thank you both so very much. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.